Meeting and pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. We'll call a meeting to order. The 1.02 is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
All right, couple of motions, couple of seconds. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. 1.03 is input from the public, if any. And if you would like to speak at this time, you are welcome to do so. We do have a 3-minute limit. Otherwise, we'll have another option at the end. And typically throughout the agenda, if there is an item on the agenda that you'd like to speak on, then you'll have opportunity there as well. Any public comment at this time? All right. Thank you very much to the community for allowing us to come up here and visit with you all in person. Looking forward to having a good meeting. Looking forward to the presentations and looking forward to Ms. Aleeyah Knight for joining us as our student board member. 1.04 is the introduction of our Elko County School District student board member, Ms. Aleeyah Knight.
Welcome. Aleeyah Knight is a senior at Owyhee High School. Throughout her high school career, she has participated in a variety of activities, including student council, varsity basketball, varsity volleyball, and varsity track and field. She is currently the senior class president. Notably, Aleeyah has held the position of volleyball captain, earned through hard work and by exhibiting leadership qualities. As a 4-year varsity athlete, Aleeyah has been committed to not just daily practices, but has been devoted to maintaining a healthy body and mind year-round. Aleeyah plans to attend college at the University of Nevada, Reno, where she will study sports medicine. Her lifelong love of sports has influenced her direction, and she aspires to remain in athletics as a career. Aleeyah has been supported throughout her life by her aunt, uncle, and late grandmother, who have raised her from the time she was an infant. Present at every game and special event, they have surrounded her with love and encouragement. Aleeyah has overcome many obstacles in her life and continues to rise above her circumstances. There is no doubt Aleeyah is bound for success. Welcome.
Welcome, Lynn. Aleeyah, you're welcome to say anything at this time, but I also don't want to put you on the spot. So if you don't want to speak now, that's fine. Towards the end of the meeting, we will have board comments. And we'll start at this end and work our way that way, so you have some time to prepare there as well.
Okay, yeah. Other than, I'm just happy to be here and thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Leah. 1.05 is receiving a presentation from the Owyhee High School football team. This is a non-action item. Gentlemen and coaches and or anyone else that may be speaking, if we can have you stand over on that side of the room to the board's left. That way you'll be able to be picked up by the microphone on the TV for our live stream broadcast. So with that, gentlemen.
Gentlemen. Maybe right here, maybe even kind of in front of the screen. This is where you're visible. Nice and tall. Thank you. Are all of you able to do the Zoom on your computers? So if I show a video, okay. Boys, can you step away from the front of the screen? We're going to show a video first, and then. Okay, we have many young men here. So, thank you. All right, are we ready? I'm set up. This is our 2025 Owyhee High School boys basketball team. Could I stand over there? Or sorry, good thing I said it when I was off screen. Okay. This is our 2025 Owyhee High School boys football team, who had the tremendous honor and privilege of being guests of the Las Vegas Raiders earlier this school year. In the month of September, this group of young men and their coaches, along with some other community members, representatives of the tribe and school district traveled to Las Vegas for a all expense paid weekend as guests of the Las Vegas Raiders. So the uniforms you see these young men wearing are gifts from the Raiders. And our friend Burgess, who's in the back and came with us from the tribe, has prepared a video that Charles will let me share. And then I think it's all of our first time watching. Burgess is a CrossFit professional, so it does have sound, but we may not get to hear it. Charles, share. And I've got
That's actually.
Do I need to turn my sound up? Okay, here we go, boys. Great.
It's all flowing. Call me
And for those in the audience, if you cannot see, we don't have seats, but you're welcome to please stand behind us and join us here in the front so that you can see the presentation. Perfect. Oh, now it's down.
fish.
Christmas came my way. Yeah. Here we go, here we go, here we go.
Football team.
Okay, so you guys, back this got it. And then coaches, if you can step forward along with, I'm going to ask Traven to stay up and to talk a little bit about your experience and our trip. And Traven, I've asked to stay up here. These are senior captains. And along with everything else, it was one of those Oprah moments. And there's more. Traven and head coach Justin got to get sideline passes. So they were on the field, on the sideline during warmups. So they maybe could speak a little bit about that as well.
No, I wasn't on sidelines. It was Justin. I'm just grateful to the tribe and for the school district for letting us go and helping us go. Thankful to the Raiders especially for inviting us. It feels I know it's pretty surreal for us to go and experience something like that. We're all from a small town, so going there and doing something like that is pretty cool for us. And then getting uniforms, we needed uniforms bad. So hopefully we could get the white color because we need some away colors too. But yeah, I'm just really grateful. And I hope these boys could take something positive from it and, you know, maybe it'll motivate them to do something, be better in life.
Yeah, the sideline experience was just kind of unreal. Me and Trevor was like in awe the whole time, the whole pregame. And like Bud said, these boys, it was just experience, just for someone to even be there, for us to even be there. I mean, we were just like, whoa. And then, you know, we got to speak with Derek Ginky. He spoke with us. I don't know if everybody knows who he is. He's just like an actor, a major actor now. And it was just very inspiring to hear him talk. Emotional, remembering everything. So,
He cries all the time.
yeah, and big stuff. Sorry, but yeah, it was just a great experience. And like Bud said, you know, we hope that all these boys came away with something positive from this, and hope them to strive for something better in life, and and be motivated by them. Maybe leave the reservation for a little bit, especially in education, and maybe something's work. Anything can happen.
To me, being pregame, I was very grateful to be on sidelines. To me, I feel like I took away a lot. I was able to see everything it took to play at the professional level, and to me, it was just a great experience overall. The Raiders trip too. I would like to thank the Raiders for allowing us to go tour their facility, everything. Yeah.
It was pretty surreal and pretty amazing.
So, to wrap, it's our hope, and we do have an informal extension from the Raiders to continue a partnership. We don't know what that looks like. We don't know what that means, but the Raiders contact that we worked with said working with our school was the most impactful community outreach program he'd done in his 8 years with the Raiders. And he looks forward to continuing to work with us. So the impact of the Raiders will not just be felt by these boys, but for the students and community members and families that are going to come behind them. But even if it were just these boys, I think every single one of them experienced something that they will never get a chance to again. We had our superintendent and Dr. Higby with us as well. And even for them to hang out in the owner, Mark Davis's VIP suite, I think is one of those things that in our roles as educators, we never have these expectations. We know that when we come into education, that is our space. But to be in there, and not just for us who are administrators, but for our students. Some of them, it was their first time in Las Vegas. Some of them, this was their first time in a long time leaving our community. But for them to get the full menu of things provided in part by the Raiders, the Nike Foundation, and the Shoshone-Paiute tribes, they came out of pocket $0. And so it was outstanding. And when I've talked to these boys, I've let them know my expectations on the other side of this. Sometimes we feel unseen in our community, but I've let them know people are watching now. The Raiders are watching. Your attendance, your behavior, the way you perform in tests. People are looking. And they want to see you be successful. They're investing in you. And I turn and look at them because us as adults, our time is going to move on, and it's going to be up to you. So it's up to each of you to make a difference and take this experience and turn it into something for positive, for now and for the rest of your lives. And that's what we got from the Raiders. An outstanding organization, top of the line people. So we're just extremely grateful. And that was our weekend with the Raiders.
Thank you, Ms. Manning. Comments or questions from the board?
I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled that you got that opportunity, and it just shows when you work together, the impossible can become possible. So I hope you take what you learned there and move on with it. That's just, it's thrilling.
I was gonna say, I agree. I think that what the Raiders did was pretty awesome. And that if it even inspires just one of these young men to go out and work hard and reach their full potential, then it's just gonna have, I mean, think of the generational impact that that could have. So I really appreciate the Raiders for making this opportunity available to you guys, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
What a cool opportunity. And how's your football season going? That's what I want to
Don't want to work. Work in progress.
Work in progress. I like it. Lots of work to do. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, and I hope you get those YU firms too.
Yeah.
Really soon.
And so I just want to say congratulations and to echo what Ms. Manning John had said. Yes, you are being seen. If you look at it, there are 18 weeks in the regular season for the Raiders. One of those weeks was devoted to you guys. When you think about time, time is precious. Once it's gone, you never get it back. They devoted that time to you guys. They are investing in you. They want to see what that results in. So no pressure, but consider what that means and what that impact can be. And professional teams have off years as well. So don't beat yourselves up too much on that. I don't think the Raiders are expecting you to have an undefeated season, but they are looking at you as people and your character. How are you going to represent your school and the gift that they've given you? So congratulations. That is awesome that you were able to have that experience. Coaches, thank you for having and putting together the team. And thank you to the tribe and everyone else that was involved for being able to put that together. Congratulations.
Really, and thank all the employees for putting their trust in us.
Absolutely. Well done. Did you learn any secret plays? Anything that you're going to use on the field? Good. Okay. All right. Well, we look forward to seeing something happen, and then we can say, hey, wait, maybe that was one of them. Okay. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Thank you. 1.06 is recognition of September Stars Award recipient. And if we can have folks hold for just a moment. Mr. Anderson, do you want to take the lead on this, or do you want Ms. Stanfield to take the lead on this?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Definitely glad to do this with all the boys in here for this one. Want to invite Miss Kendra Thomas to come on up. Well, I don't know, there she is. Yeah, come on up, stand in front of everybody. Right over there. Just, yeah, I mean.
Yeah, over by the television, well, yeah, that would work great.
Or look
It
over
would
here,
have
it's fine.
changed for those of you that saw me earlier.
Yeah. So, we have something in our district that's called a Stars Award, and we give a few of them out every month throughout the school year. And we do the Stars Awards based off of nominations. And the reason I mentioned that is because we have had a couple or a few recipients receive this award in Owyhee. Miss Pete actually got it a couple of years ago, about two to 3 years ago. And And so the nominations come from students, from parents, and from other staff members at the schools. Like, we love to hear about the good things that go on in our schools, but nobody knows better than you guys do how someone at the school level impacts you. So whether that's a great teacher, an amazing custodian, in this case, Ms. Thomas, however, an adult who works at the schools impacts kids. If it's positive, then we want to hear that in the STARS nomination. So the nomination forms are found online on our district website. So just encourage you that as I read this about Ms. Thomas, you think maybe about who else you feel has had a positive impact on you or on your child or in this community. So that all being said, I'm going to read the nomination that was written about Ms. Thomas. And the person who nominated you did not give their name. They want to be anonymous here, but they said that Kendra has been our safe school professional for 5 years. She is an integral point of contact for students and families in need of support. She focuses on the social, emotional, and academic success of our students and is active in individual counseling, resource connections, crisis intervention, student advocacy, and mental health and behavioral concerns. She also facilitates the Resilient Kids program and is a cheerleading coach for the school. So she's heavily involved in so many different areas. And as we know is the case with a lot of schools, a lot of people wear a lot of different hats, and Kendra exemplifies that in all she does for the school. And I know just from having had conversations with your principal before and from visiting the school before, I know she does more than the stuff that I just read. There's more to it than that. But that was what was written about her, and congratulations and thank you for what you do for the kids in the school here in Owyhee.
Like to congratulate you.
And when we presented this to her earlier today, a big surprise for her, she got flowers and some gift cards, and the only reason we're able to do these awards for our wonderful staff around the district is thanks to several sponsors. So I just want to mention those sponsors real quick. So thanks to Leanne's Floral Designs, who dedicates she got a beautiful bouquet I mentioned, and that's donated each time for each winner. Maverick Gaming, the Rotary Club of Elko Desert Sunrise, the Star Hotel and Restaurants, and Sugar Spice in Elko. And yeah, we just really appreciate all their donations and supporting the program. Yeah, way to go, Kendra. And again, we make special trips out to do these. We didn't just do it because we're here today. We make a special trip out just to acknowledge that person for all they do. It's so we come here to say thanks for what they do for all of you guys. And if we had more time, I'd put some of you on the spot and make you come up and talk about how great she is, but we're not going to do that time. Don't worry. Don't worry. We appreciate y'all being here tonight.
Congratulations, Ms. Thomas. Thank you.
Thank you.
2.01 is our consent agenda. Is there a motion to receive and or approve the consent agenda?
Second.
All right, motion and second on the floor. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. Going into our discussion and action items, we're going to pause for just a moment. Are they departing? All right. Go ahead, gentlemen. If you're welcome to stay. It can get a little dry and boring, but you're welcome to stay. Thank you very much, Coach. Appreciate it. Moving into our discussion and action item 3.01 is receipt of a facilities and construction update. This is a non-action item. Mr. Stolke.
Good evening. So update on school safety projects that we're working with the cameras and TCUs. That's still moving forward. Schools completed our Adobe Middle School, Elko High School, Spring Creek High School, Spring Creek Middle School, Southside, Wells Combined, Sage Elementary, Carlin Combined, West Wendover High School, Middle School, Jackpot Combined. We're kind of working right now on Flagview, and we hope to maybe finish Flagview and probably move over to Northside to finish it up this fiscal year. And
does that then secure all the schools for that particular project?
no, so then the rest of the schools will be kind of in Elko. We kind of worked our way in and then kind of top down. So the elementaries will kind of be what will finish up in Elko.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're still working on securing funding for single point entry and all that stuff for the rest of the schools and fencing. And so hopefully we get more money, grants, and everything else that everybody's working on. Owyhee project, quite a few of us were out there earlier today, but yeah, concrete's being put down, blocks going up, it's moving along really well. Starting to actually resemble a building and it's moving forward really well. So projects completed, food science. We're still working on a few tiny little, issues here and there, but majority of stuff is complete and done. So that's for the food science building or agri-science. It's hard to call it agri-science when I've been calling it food science for a couple of years. And then all the modular stuff is complete. The old central roof is complete. That turned out really, really well right before we had a bunch of rain. So that was nice. And then current projects we're working on are still working on grammar number 2, office relocation. That should be done by the end of the month. That turned out really, really well. We're also working on all the different playgrounds needs that we need, and we're still trying to finish up Carlin's playground. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we should have everything in place and done over there. Future projects, grammar number 2, mechanical upgrade, that's bidding this December. Elko High School boiler upgrade, that's again bidding this December. We're still working on plans for Jackpot mechanical upgrade. We're kind of finishing up the plans, and if we can push it, we'll try to get it bid this spring. And then the other project we'll have this summer is Wells High School gym. We'll get a new roof. That's kind of all I've been working on right now.
Great, thank you. Comments, questions from the board? Matt and or CJ, the modulars at Spring Creek classes are being utilized now. Have they moved in or?
Last I heard, there was 1 or 2 of them that had some occupants. The others were not like 100% ready for the start of school. There was still some utility and finishing touches that needed to go on them, but they're all able to be utilized at this point. But I don't think all of them are 100% being utilized right now.
Yeah, I think 2, you're correct.
Yeah. I just didn't know if they were going to be a mid-year move or not.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just as a reminder, part of the reason for doing that I know you guys probably remember, but just generally, Spring Creek is pretty much, the high school is pretty much like a city with all of their classrooms. And so making sure there was some extra space, and obviously you don't always want to be stuck at capacity. Sometimes there's needs for different things to happen. So a couple of empty rooms or trailers are going to be good for them to have for that and for potential expansion as well.
Great, thank you.
And then I just want to chime in, like we, as he mentioned, a bunch of us went over to the job site at the Owyhee school today, of the future Owyhee school. I just got real excited being out there. The last pictures I saw from about 5 weeks ago, there was some concrete on the ground, but still mostly just looked like a bunch of dirt and a couple little joints sticking up out of the ground. But it is, I mean, they have done so much work in such little time up there, and it really got me excited. They're somewhat ahead of schedule, it sounds like, which is really great, to have in time for the scheduled opening in a couple school years. It's kind of hard to say that out loud too, because you're like, oh, come on, we just want it here, but, these, these things take time, but I just got so excited, being at that site, thinking about, because I've been seeing plans for a long time and designs and drawings and talking through it, and to get out there and actually look down and be like, oh, this is that wing, this is gonna be this part that we talked about, like it's, I mean, I'm so excited for you guys, here in Owyhee. I think it's gonna be incredible. And I was also really happy to, over the last couple of months, been working closely with, the chair of your tribal council, Chair Mason, and different folks from your community, and with the governor's office and with folks from within our central office, to make sure we have a really good pulse on how we can not do just the bare bones version of this project, but the project in its entirety that everyone dreamed and hoped for when the bill was passed originally. So it's taken a lot of extra additional effort. I know when that bill passed, AB 519, everyone was like, 64.5 million, that's so much money. And our reaction was, that is not enough money. Like, there's no way we're gonna get this all done for that. But people up in Carson City have really done a good job of coming up with creative ways to make this work. And then just to hear how the tribe is doing outreach, and people are being philanthropic and generous, and how we're all coming together and working together to make it happen. It really pleases me. I know there's gonna be hiccups, there's gonna be bumps, there's gonna be things along the way, but in case anybody doubted it, we're doing this. It's happened, we're committed to doing it. And my favorite part of today actually was when seeing the building was great, but when I saw Chair Mason, he gave me a big hug, and he told me how much he loved and appreciated the school district for everything we're doing to work with you guys. Like, we just, to what Lynn said a little bit ago about sometimes you don't feel seen. I mean, from me, I think it's so important that that's not the case, that I don't see you, that we don't see you. We, at our central office, we literally talk about Owyhee on a daily basis. Sometimes for good, sometimes, oh no, there's a problem, we gotta work on it, but we care, and we're engaged, and we're trying to help do whatever we can to support whatever way we can. I'm just really happy that the work is going forward. Sometimes in these other projects we're talking about, like, I'm sure people didn't fail to notice that under the school safety project, we didn't talk about the cameras in Owyhee, we didn't talk about that stuff is all getting built into your brand new building. All of these safety upgrades are coming as industry standard with your new building. So all the things we're trying to do to catch up these other schools around our district, you guys are gonna get those bells and whistles right off the bat with your new school. So yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm so excited. I was just telling somebody else today, I really hope I'm around still when this building gets done. I really want to see it to completion, and see it through, and see the kids' smiling faces, and the staff who put so much energy into this, and for all the community members that support this school. So I can probably keep talking, but we'll stop there. But thank you for listening, and I'm excited.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Stuelke. All right, we'll go ahead and move on. 2.02 is receipt, review, and possible approval of a change of venue for the February 3, 2026 meeting of the Elko County School District Board of Trustees. This is for possible actions. Since I have been appointed, I've asked, can we get a meeting in Spring Creek? And because we go once a year to Carlin, up here to Owyhee, of course, West Wendover Wells, and Jackpot. So even though it's only 10 miles over the hill, the thought was still, let's try to get out there for our community members in Spring Creek. And so that's what this proposal is to move change the venue for the first meeting in February from location of Elko Board Room to Spring Creek. So Spring Creek Middle School, to be exact. So that's the background behind that. And I'm happy to answer any questions or entertain a motion.
Well, I just have a question. Where in the middle school?
I believe the library is gonna be where it's.
Because I was gonna say, it needs to not be the gym. The gym sound is terrible, so
Yeah.
if it is indeed in the library, I move that we approve a change of venue for the February 3rd, 2026 meeting to Spring Creek Middle School instead of the one.
Second.
Great, thank you all very much. Discussion? So to Teresa's point, part of the problem with being able to host out in Spring Creek has been technology, audio issues. And so, as we've seen in some of our other locations, yes, putting us in a big cavernous room doesn't always work very well for audio. So yes, the library. Thank you very much. Thank you for the motion. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Terrific. Chair votes aye as well, and motion passes. 3.03 is review, discussion, and possible action regarding an appointment of a trustee to the advisory board to review school attendance. This is for possible action. And I'm gonna kind of jump in on here. 1997-ish, a statutory requirement was put into place for all districts to have a committee similar to this. And it's been a kind of on again, off again. Since COVID, we have not had this committee. And so we're reforming this. And this gives that opportunity for the board chair to appoint someone on this. And while I have the floor, I guess, most of the time I try to let you all talk about this and kind of go where you are on this. This is one of those times where I'm going to jump a little bit in front of the line. I'd be very interested in appointing myself if there are no strenuous objections. And if nobody wants to fight me for it, but that doesn't mean, that's not to put pressure on anyone. If you would like to
Do we need a
serve on
motion
this.
to support you?
Technically not, but I wanted to make sure that the board, if there was somebody on the board that said, you know, I'd really be interested in this, then I want to make sure to hear that as well. I don't have a history in this other than I think, again, since I've been appointed, one of the first things I asked CJ was, what's with the truancy court? Why aren't we holding parents accountable for their students not making things? And so that's the only reason that I'm jumping in that.
I feel very supportive.
I agree.
Okay.
Great.
Great, perfect. Then I will appoint myself, which is kind of weird, but I'll do that, and we'll make sure that the rest of the legal requirements are taken care of. 3.04 is review and discussion and possible action regarding the process of selecting a parent or a guardian representative to the advisory board to review school attendance. Very similar thing. In this regard, district has suggested that they create an application, that the application go back through district. District will go through those applications and make a selection. That selection will then come back before the board, basically just kind of as a presentation of here's who we're suggesting. So this action item would be to delegate, or I guess to endorse me delegating CJ, Superintendent Anderson, to make that selection. And then we can, of course, always come back and approve that or suggest to other people if need be. But that way we don't have to review in public all applications and everybody else. Mr. Anderson, anything to add?
Yeah, just really glad we're getting this going again, and probably need to give some credit to Emily Nielsen for meeting with. We have some folks in new positions over in Elko in those offices, and they showed some interest in putting this back together, and Emily has been working closely with them. And among we tried to list a bunch of the information and the background info here, but among the potential positions to go on this advisory board was a trustee and was a parent. And in both of those cases, the NRS is very specific to read that appointed by the president of the Board of Trustees. So it's not something that officially, neither this nor the parent appointment have to take place by board action. But we do so many other things this way that it felt like it would be a straying from practice to just kind of do it without informing you of how we were proceeding. So we're glad it's being put together. We're glad we'll have Matt joining, and then again, just similar ways to how Matt came and just said by way of information kind of thing. Once we settle in that parent, and finish that process. We'll let Matt know, we'll let you all know, but in the end, it is Matt that technically gets to appoint that person, but I'm confident that a good representative will do that.
And for the board's information, if we're not able to review NRS 392.1.126, there will additionally be on the committee a probation officer appointed by the judge or judges of the juvenile court for Elko County, one representative of a law enforcement agency in the county who works related to juveniles, who's also appointed by those same judges or masters of the juvenile court, district attorney representative appointed by the district attorney, our representative, as well as the parent representative appointed by the president of the board, one school counselor or school teacher who will be appointed by somebody in the district office, as well as a deputy sheriff appointed by Sheriff Narvaeza, and one representative of an agency which provides child welfare services. So those will be the 8 representatives on that committee. Any objections to moving forward with that suggestion?
I think it's great. I served in this capacity years and years back. And I'm glad to see we're getting it going again. And I think it's great to have an application process where people can submit some interest and then review it. So I appreciate it.
Great. Okay, then I'll work with Superintendent Anderson and staff to finalize the parental appointment, and I'll make that appointment as appropriate and as necessary. For the time being, 3.05, which is a presentation on software programs usage and successes, we're going to table that item for just a moment. We'll bring it back up later in the meeting. And so we are going to move to 4.01, our superintendent's report. Mr. Anderson.
Thank you. So a few things to fill you in on. We just, I think it was last week. Last week we had our next meeting in the succession of our development of the portrait, the Elko County School District Portrait of a Learner. And that went awesome. We had a morning session that was with a lot of the folks from the original kind of big working group that had, business owners and elected officials and folks from GBC and district personnel and high school kids. And so we had them all come back together because a smaller working group had kind of narrowed down the competencies that we might be focused in on. And so we sent a survey out to parents, a survey out to staff, a survey out to families. Sorry, I missed a group. Students, families, staff. I don't know which one I missed at first, but we sent a different survey out to all 3 groups to get their feedback on kind of what we were missing or what their thoughts were. We got back some very good feedback. One of those being that it lacked a little bit of clarity. And so our group worked on some clarity, and we're going to continue to hone that down to where we feel good about the final product. Fully intend on having a workshop with the board to let you know about how that process looked in its entirety. And then, of course, before we move forward with an official adopted portrait of a learner in Elko County, we would want your board blessing in adopting that. And so we'll bring that to you when that time comes. But so that was the morning session. And then the afternoon session of that same day was district personnel who've been involved in some form or fashion with either the development of our individual district portrait, with the Nevada Future of Learning Network and the pilot work that was going on at different points, which I reported about. And then we even had a couple of teams from both Southside and Liberty Peak who've been involved from the very beginning when the state was developing their portrait. And so we've had all these different groups that have kind of been doing similar type work, which is focused on having learner-centered environments in our classrooms and how we can really focus more on that and meeting today's learners' needs. And so, but we were all kind of working in silos that were similarly interested. And so it was good to bring everyone together and say, all right, now I know you've been working with the state, you've been working at your school, but it's Elko County School District time now to figure out how we want to make this our portrait. So bringing them all together and talking about how, again, what their thoughts were with our proposed the competencies, but also to start to really strategically recruit like who the leaders are gonna be as we start to push this out into schools. And when it comes time to, because there's other steps that go along with this, like having learning progressions that really embody the competencies we're talking about. So there's so much more work to be done with it. Sometimes people just focus on, well, what are the 4 things that or 5 things or whatever that we're gonna say we're all about. But the implementation of that takes a lot of effort and takes a lot of, a lot of desire and willing work from a lot of people to do. And so we're starting to kind of get the coalition of the willing together to make sure we're ready to push this out. And it'll be an ongoing process. So we're not trying to rush anything too often. We see in not just here, but like everywhere I've ever been in education, too often things are just kind of like unboxed and here we are, we're doing this. And so we don't want to be hasty with this because it's a lot of work has gone into it already and a lot more is going to. So we want to make sure it's a thoughtful rollout and something that people can embrace and appreciate. So, so anyway, that happened last week and we got more to do, more to go. So that was a little update on that. In addition to our Stars Award winner today, we had one at Adobe and one at Sage, and I'll spare the rest of that for next board meeting. But we got a couple more Stars Award winners to acknowledge at our next meeting. I had a couple of meetings recently with folks from Communities and Schools and UNLV. So Community and Schools focuses on a lot of different wraparound services for our schools, but they have helped us partner with UNLV to bring in mental health services for students in rural counties because we don't have access to quite the variety or amount of providers in our rural contexts. And the more rural you get, the more difficult it is to find those services. And so unfortunately, because of reduced federal funding in different areas, that program has taken a hit and is one that can scarcely afford to take a hit in. Like people's mental health doesn't step to the side because an elected official decides that that's not important anymore. So those needs still are still there. For our students. And so it's been great to strategize with Communities and Schools and UNLV to see how we can continue to provide those services. And so we have access to those services still. They're a little more limited in how many spots they can provide. But UNLV has also designated and set aside very specific number of seats. I just call them seats, but spots for our students who have some really pretty severe mental illness or mental health challenges that go beyond what can be addressed through just routine therapy. And so they made sure we knew about those services and also there are ongoing efforts to continue to secure more funding. So again, just because the money goes away doesn't mean the needs go away, and we're always going to do everything we can to meet those needs as they're made known to us. And so really appreciate Communities and Schools advocating for us and connecting with us. And Trisha Webb over there is very passionate about making sure we have what we need in our schools. And so, yeah, share that with you. We also met this week with some representatives from Nevada Gold Mines. They are very interested in having a renewed focus on how they support education in the counties that they serve, and that includes in Elko County. And so we got to sit down with them, with our district leadership team, as well as some of their leadership, to talk about what the priorities are, make sure they're aligned, and help them best know how they can support us, not just with funds like they do often for us. They're constantly supporting us from a fiscal standpoint, but just other ways they can help support career development and lots of different ways. I did let them know that because of the work you're doing with balanced governance, we're going to have some kind of new designated priorities in the coming months. And so I told them I wasn't super comfortable saying exactly what our highest priorities were at the moment, because I knew we would be determining those in the next couple of months. So I let them know as soon as we sort that out that we would pass those on, so we can again just make sure that we're aligned. But really appreciate the support of Nevada Gold Mines, and all the ways they help us. And then one other note I just wanted to talk about, I don't want to, I'm not gonna spend a ton of time on it, but just for those who've been paying attention to federal news, there was the government shutdown, on October 1, when, they couldn't come to a consensus on, or not a consensus, but couldn't come to an agreement on the budget. So that government shutdown happened, and government shutdowns are rather confusing. Like I had one of my children was panicked in a text, like, is our government shutting down? And I said, yeah, but like, it's happened before and you didn't notice then. It's not a super rare thing for this to occur, but he's 17 now, and he wasn't quite at the age of paying attention to that before. But in terms of how it impacts schools, we've received, I don't want to use the word assurance, but we feel pretty good about the fact that the grant funding that was secured for us and was kind of backed after what happened back in June when we weren't sure if we were going to get that. That funding is all coming. The state has put processes in place to make sure that those things continue on for us throughout the government shutdown. And just as a reminder, the way that cycle, the government budget cycles work, the federal cycle, is that they did not come to an agreement on what their 26-27 budget is going to be yet. So the funds that come federally to us for education those were determined at the last go around. And so we don't expect to see a lapse in federal funding anytime soon. Now, were this shutdown to persist for an entire year, which would be, rather unusual, which I don't expect to be the case, then we could start to, I don't like to use the word panic, but we could start to be concerned and think about how we're going to adapt. But for the moment, that is not really a grave concern. I have other things that concern me much more than that, and that are right in front of our face every day. And so we're gonna keep an eye on that. We get great updates from AASA through their lobbyists and advocacy work and my involvement with that as well. So I'll keep you posted if there's anything like drastic, but for the moment, even though people hear government shutdown, not really a huge impact to our school district and its operations. So I figured that was worth sharing as well. And that's it for me, unless you have questions.
Thank you. Yep. Comments, questions for CJ? All righty. We're going to continue to postpone or pause 3.05. So we'll go into 5.01 at this point, and we'll go into our NASB update. Trustee Neil, if you have anything for our NASB, I know that you sent out an email.
Yeah, just a couple of things. That email had some legislative items. So take a look at those. And then just a thought, the conference held in April, an SBA conference that's in San Antonio. I got an email about, and some of you may have received the same one. This year, they're focusing on showcasing students. So students can apply by November 7th, and they have categories of dance, there's music, spoken word, acting, or singing. So I don't know if, Mr. Anderson, if you wanna, I can forward that email to you if you didn't get it. And then if anyone's interested, or if, whatever you want to do to deal with it. But it just seems kind of like a neat thing for students. So I'll pass that along to you, and then you can do what you want with it.
Yeah, that's great. I think 2 years ago when I went with Jeff to that conference, there were a couple of just absolutely show-stopping student performances. One was a theater group, the other was, I think, maybe a dance one. Yeah, they're amazing talent.
Yeah.
That's great.
Good.
Susan, can you tell us that application due date again? November?
It's November 7th,
Great, thank you.
and the conference is April 10th through the 12th.
Thank you. Anything else from NASB?
I don't think so. I think that's it.
Okay. Ms. Aleeyah, I know I said I'd start on this end and then go back that way, but I wasn't paying much attention to 5.01. So since Susan just had the floor, we'll give it back to her. We'll come this way and then we'll go back to you. Does that work all right, Ms. Aleeyah? All right, so Susan, anything for non-NASB trustee comments?
Well, thank you to our student member, Aleeyah. Thank you for dinner. Thanks to the Raiders. Thanks for the tour of the school. That was, and with Mr. Anderson, that was so exciting. It's just thrilling to see the progress on that. And then I had a teachers and leaders council meeting. And we talked about NEPF and the results of, they had a survey. They're changing things a little bit. Legislative session is going to require some changes to be made coming up too. So we talked a little bit about that. I'm going to meet with Ray Smith just to get his take on it, so I can have some information to take back to the committee and have a little more knowledge, since I'm still getting used to what they're even talking about in this committee. So I'm just trying to catch up on everything. And then I'll report more when we know more about that too, because there'll be some changes in that. Changes on like principals are gonna have to be highly, I don't know if it's qualified, the term they use, but highly qualified to evaluate someone. So there's gonna have to be training for them. This is all things coming down the line. And then I'll talk with Mr. Smith about the survey itself. Like, I know it's a little overwhelming, I think, even though they did tweak it some, but it sounds like they still have some adjustments to do on all of that. It's a lot of work for teachers and admin, as I'm sure the rest of admin and teachers know, but so we're just kind of working on those things. And that's it. I think that's all I have.
Great. Thank you, Susan. Trustee Dasher.
I just thank you, the community of Owyhee, for hosting us. It's always great to come up here. The food is always amazing. Your students do an awesome job preparing it and presenting it. It's so exciting to see the work being done on your new school. It's just an amazing facility. I'm so excited for the impact it's going to have on your community. And I loved hearing that so many of your teachers and staff were able to give input on how you wanted things in the building. And that's amazing. So I'm excited to hear the progress. It was great to meet some new faces while we've been here. It's been fun to be here. So thank you for hosting us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Teresa. Trustee Stamford.
Well, I just want to say, with everything that is happening around the country, communities, all of that things, it's just nice and makes me really happy to hear everything that is happening here, like the football team, the new school, everything's great, and just makes me really happy for that. And thank you for everything, for food. It's always delicious, and I love to come to Owyhee. It's a great, seems like all the way here, and there's no crickets this year, so happy for that too. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. Sorry, trying to get my typing in. Ms. Brooke.
Oh, I thought you were gonna go next. I can go. I'm gonna kind of backtrack a little bit. I wasn't able to be at the last board meeting or at the ribbon cutting for the agri-science building in Spring Creek. I was sent a video on Ruby Bizzetti's speech that she gave there. She did an incredible job. Sounds like that event was really nice, and wished I could have been there. As far as coming out here, I'm just always in awe and inspired by the people out here and how much they care about the kids in this community and how much work that they and effort that they put into kids. I'm gonna be like the coach and I'm gonna get a little bit teary-eyed. Always impressed by the principal of this school and how much she cares for the kids and how much effort she puts into them to make sure that they're set up for bright futures, and wants this community to just thrive and have happy kids and happy families and people here. I want to thank the leadership of the tribe and all that they're doing to make sure that you guys that we have the funds to be able to build this building. I know when we voted on that as a board, I had some reservations. The amount that was given to us was more than what we had in funding, and I had some major concerns there and some questions that I wanted answered before we voted on that. I'm glad it is moving forward. I'm so happy for this community and I'm really impressed to see the work that everybody has put in to be able to secure those extra funds so that you guys can have this wonderful building. It's gonna be so good for your community. And just love coming out here. The food is always so great and I'm always so impressed by the students out here. I love small rural communities like this and it's just great to see the wonderful things that are happening out here.
Thank you, Trustee Ballard. I'll have you go ahead and go next, Ms. Aleeyah. If you have anything you'd like to say, and if not, that is not a problem.
Yeah, I don't think I want to say anything.
Okay. All right. We appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Thank you for all that you do for your school. I know that oftentimes in our more rural schools that we see these 3 athlete students that are still also involved in other factors as well and hold high GPAs and have these plans. So congratulations for what you've done. We continue to look forward to seeing how you're going to finish out your senior year and who knows, maybe through your sports medicine, you'll be working for the Raiders one day or something. So we look forward to seeing what you can do. We appreciate your time here today.
Thank you.
I also want to say thank you very much to the community. I regret that my medical appointments in Boise kept me by about 30 minutes from being able to join the tour. But I look forward to coming up for a one-on-one meeting with Ms. Manning John and the rest of the school and staff. And hopefully at that time I'll be able to take a tour as well, or at least see from a distance the progress of the school. I look forward to seeing it. The last meeting we had, I think 2 days later, we were having a constitutional event. I think I've got the timing right, and so I don't think we've met since then. I just want to say, again, to follow kind of what Adriana had said, when all of this negativity is out there, we had 3 individuals from 3 political parties who typically are working against each other to try to be able to take a seat of power. And in our community, we had 3 of them come together respectfully, openly, honestly speak about our Constitution. And it was awesome. It was great to see those 3 representatives. And it was terrific that the questions that they were answering came from our own students within the district. So I want to thank the students that put that together, and also want to thank the 3 representatives from the Democrat Party, the Independent American Party of Nevada, and the Elko County Republicans for putting that on. So I wanted to just say thank you for that. You've heard tonight Mr. Anderson mention balanced governance, and I'm really excited. I appreciate the trustees for getting together right at the end of September. So it was about a week ago. In fact, it was exactly a week ago, spending a day to go through balanced governance. And the reason that this is important from my point of view, and I believe from the board as well, is that we are setting into motion things that should allow for Elko County School District and our students, staff, and community to be able to have consistency and to be able to have appropriate dealings on the board level. We're putting things into place that hopefully will keep us moving down appropriately. And so again, I appreciate that. And because we've mentioned a few times this concept of balanced governance, I just wanted to make sure that the community understood what it was that we were talking about. There will be more discussions on that in the future as well, but wanted to put that there. So with that, if there's nothing else from our board members, do we have our presenter? So we're going to move back up line to 3.05. This is going to be a presentation on our Elko County School District software programs usage and successes. And this is going to be from Ms. Sarah Jolly. So if we can go ahead and connect there. Okay, yep, that's what I was going to try to, I know that I'm going to be so good on that. So I might just.
For a kid can. I think I can.
Well, I don't know how steady this is. I'm happy to jump over there. Oh, here, let me squeeze back there, especially since you're wearing not quite so.
Maybe that's okay. I didn't make it.
No better?
Yeah, great. It's your
Okay, just checking if you can hear me.
Yes.
I heard a vague yes, a kind of a breakup yes, so hopefully you can. I'm gonna present my discussion on some exciting things that have been going on with our educational technology. So I'll just dive right in. First, we have probably the reason why I'm speaking is because Brain Pop. We purchased Brain Pop. If you're familiar with it has animated videos, quizzes, leveled readings, and interactive activities for grades K-8. It makes complex concepts understandable. It supports course subjects, curiosity, and helps with retention of knowledge. We have Brain Pop Junior, Brain Pop ELL, which it helps them with language acquisition, and all the Brain Pop movies in Espanol. I remember as a very first teacher, I took a class from Susan Nill, and she had a Brain Pop poster in her office. And I went back to my office and I actually looked up Brain Pop and started to watch the free movies from there. And then luckily was able to get subscription, and that's where I started with Brain Pop. So you can blame Susan. Then we have Brain Pop usage. So this is only for K-8. We only get it for our K-8 students. And this is our login data coming from the Brain Pop side of how many teachers and students are logging in each month. The blue was last year and the red is this year. These are some quotes from teachers. I did a survey at the end of last year and just asked for some input on these different apps. And these are some quotes about what they felt about them. I really like Brain Pop because I can use it in all the subjects. It has a wide variety of topics. Brain Pop is an entertaining way to provide information. I love it. 5th grade, it's fun, engaging. I absolutely love Brain Pop. My students love it. I love Brain Pop. I love the videos. Brain Pop is great. I hear this all the time, and I heard this so much that I brag about Elko County a lot when I talk to different educational providers or when I get to go to conference. And Brain Pop decided to come to Elko. They visited, and I apologize, this slide, Brain Pop just got me some of these images. These are what our students created and gave to Brain Pop when they came to visit. And they visited 6 of our classrooms and interviewed 7 teachers around Elko. They produced they're going to be producing, they've produced one so far. They produced this article about a teacher at Liberty Peak, Samantha Pemilton, and her 2nd grade classroom, and the amazing work she's doing with Brain Pop. And they even have her lesson plan right here that other teachers out there can download and talk about what they saw and how she used it. And there's going to be a follow-up article on all of those teachers that they observed. So there's going to be one per teacher. This was the first one. There was a video as well that will go out. We didn't know how the speed of internet, but there'll be a video coming too, so you can watch that. I wasn't sure with the internet, but it's about Elko County and the work we're doing here, so it's pretty exciting. Then we have the next one, which is Nearpod. And if you think of this slideshow, it's not very hopefully it's engaging, but we can make it even more engaging if I was running it through Nearpod. You could all be on your computers. You could all have a Nearpod in front of you. And as you do, I could be asking engaging questions where you actually answer on your computer. And then immediately I see the results as a teacher. And so they can put quizzes, polls, drawings. They can go on virtual field trips. They have a ton of pre-made ones. They just gave us Nearpod Social Studies and Nearpod Math, along with Nearpod EL. And they just have they just released Nearpod AI, which teachers can just ask, hey, I need a Nearpod on this topic or this state standard, and it will produce them. So real-time feedback right then, students are participating, you can boost engagement. And this is the data I could get from Nearpod and its student joins. And so this is district-wide, and this is our monthly student joins with the total for the year at the top. And then the red is this year, and I'll keep an eye on this. And hopefully with the new AI edition that it'll be easier for teachers to make Nearpods and put them out. This is what I heard on the survey. I love Nearpod. It's my favorite tool that we have access to. If I lost Nearpod, I would lose my teaching style and my student engagement. I like the format. It is user-friendly. The kids like the interaction with the lesson and questions. The students respond very well to it. I really like Nearpod. Now that it's integrated in Google Classroom, I won't read all of these to you, but we got some good response on the use of Nearpod. Some highlights is the new AI capabilities, and these are some emails and a text that was sent to me. Yeah, my teachers text me. So one of them said, a math teacher said, you probably know this, and I didn't, but Nearpod gives me math lessons in Spanish. I struggle to find things to support my students, and this works like a charm. It tells it what I need. I tell it what I need, and it makes it in Spanish, and it comes out great. I went in, I was like, what? I didn't know this. And you just ask it to write your lesson. I actually had it write in both English and Spanish, so both could be there. And this math teacher is supporting 19 EL students in high school, and this is working for her. Then an elementary teacher texts me, I'm assuming she was talking about our grade level PLC. We were complaining about the lack of meat on a topic we were teaching. I went to Nearpod really quick, used AI, and they were like, what? All right. So and she said it was amazing how much they got from that Nearpod AI lesson. Another one we have is Book Creator. This is more for end of unit projects. When we're now moving into this age of AI and this digital age, having students show their understanding in very unique ways is going to be important because they need to use their creativity and their critical thinking even more. And Book Creator gives them that avenue. It encourages that creativity, collaboration, and it works across grade levels. So they can take ownership of their learning and they can show what they've learned, even if they are working with an AI in a unique way. This is our usage. Now you're going to see a spike in that May. And the reason I find for that is because it is more of a project-based tool. So you're going to see that at the end of the semester as students are presenting portfolios and they're learning at the end. So that's why I have seen this growth is because in May, a lot of teachers used it as those end of year projects to really show their understanding from the year. And then we have a lot of quotes, some from my classes, some from the survey about Brain Pop. I'm doing a math e-portfolio for the first time this year. My co-teachers aren't as tech savvy, so I've designed and done the work in Book Creator. For the most part so far, but they are learning too. I find it a good way for students to create projects and reflect on their learning. The best way to check students' understanding of a topic, concept, or unit that is done in their own creative way. Let me show you one. And this link is in your the PDF for you. This is one made by an 8th grade English teacher, Brenda Bennett. So she made this in the course that I taught on Brook Creator as a project about Anne Frank, so embedded videos, and it can read to them. It can also translate audio into other languages. So a lot of teachers use it to translate for their students, and it can read to their students. And so she has this interactive book about Anne Frank that she made, and the students go in and do the work in here. And it can be used in multiple different ways and age levels. All right. The next one, this one's different. This one's read and write, and UPAR comes with it. It supports our literacy. It is a built-in toolbar to make text to speech, word prediction, translation, and a lot of other study tools. It is for our students that struggle with reading, our EL students, IEP accommodations. It's a toolbar that will appear. I think you can see it right up here. So it has a dictionary, a picture dictionary, can read to them. And lots of other tools like highlighters and translation. And it has an AI voice. So the text to speech isn't as robotic. It has lots of different AI voices. And this can read on anything Google, PDFs for the most part, depending on how they were created. Any websites out there, Canva, Canvas, it can support students. UPAR comes with it, but what it is a test for students to say, is text to speech going to be beneficial for this student? Should it be an accommodation? Because just assuming that text to speech would help, this test will let us know if it really does, if that accommodation is necessary. Now they report a little different. This is every time it's used. So every time a student reads aloud to them, it gets it read aloud to them. Every time a student, clicks on the translate. So that's how they report their usage. But this is the usage. Of course, August, we didn't come that long last year. So that's why it was really low at the beginning of last year. And quotes from surveys, some of the teachers, they didn't respond a lot on this question. I believe because the students use it more. The teachers, I don't really see teachers, unless the teacher's showing the student to use it. But I have a student that does not know any English, and extra supports is the only way she can understand what we are talking about. I love Read and Write. It's a great tool for my SPED and EL students. I make sure they know how to use it well before they move on to Adobe. We have other educational apps. Nevada Gold Mines pays for Discovery Ed, along with the Department of Education. And we are doing another project with Discovery Ed. One of our Adobe classrooms is going to have Discovery Ed and Meta. They're going to virtually show jobs at Meta, which is Facebook and Instagram, to that class, but be interactive. It's not just watching. They're going to be asking questions, and then other classrooms get to watch. And then we have other ones, Class Dojo, Clever, Canva for Education, Adobe Express, FigJam, and Prodigy, and lots more that wasn't listed. All right. So do you guys have any questions? I don't know if I do questions. Anyway. All right. Hi. That's the end. I'm awkward at the end.
Thank you, Ms. Jolly. Appreciate it. Questions from the board?
Can she hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I just have a couple things. One,
Okay.
you also go into classrooms and work with the teachers along with having classes,
Yes.
right? So
Yes,
I
I
appreciate
do.
you doing that because I've seen you in a classroom and it's nice that they have someone there to guide them. And when you get articles, when Brain Pop does the rest of those articles, will you send that to us?
Of course, yes. I will.
And then I'm just curious because I like the fact that we have different tools for teachers to choose from because sometimes one tool's better than somebody else and it takes a while too, I think, for teachers to even find the tools and get going on it. So I appreciate the fact you have so many of them. I'm just curious if any teacher has said, like, based on the comments, has any teacher said they've seen an improvement, say in their testing or test scores or just testing in general that, hey, I think this has made a difference by using Brain Pop or whatever?
I would have to find the emails, but yes, I have heard, especially with Nearpod. They've said that because they can immediately see if the kids are getting answers right or wrong, that they can go back and catch those and not like have to wait till the homework comes in and the grading's done. They can immediately see that and catch those mistakes where if they're just writing on a piece of paper, you're circling the room and you're trying to see everyone. But with Nearpod, they're seeing it right on their board with like a graph or whatever they're writing, they can see. And so I have heard that one really supports because then they can really see that engagement and they're making sure every single kid's participating because they can view it all. So I have heard teachers talk about that. With Brain Pop, I've heard teachers say, especially those teachers we interviewed last spring, about the engagement levels going up and the excitement for learning, and that they were so excited to do what the robot was doing in the video because we did a lot of that. So that's what I've heard, but I could find other conversations I've had. I have a lot of conversations with teachers. I apologize.
And that's great. I just was wondering if they could notice it that way, because these kind of tools, sometimes it's hard to tell how it makes a difference. So that's good to hear. And then one last question. All of these are tools that students can use at home? Like they could use some of these with their parents or something at home or not?
For Brain Pop, yes. Discovery Ed, yes. Read and Write Toolbar, definitely. The Nearpods at home, a Nearpod has to be started by the teacher. So unless the teacher has assigned it, they wouldn't be able to use it at home. I mean, they could do it as homework, but just on their own, I want to go explore different topics. They could definitely do that in Nearpod and Discovery Ed. And that's something I talk about in my classes is use it like as a research platform and sending them loose into Google land, have them go to Discovery Ed or Brain Pop and find that topic they're researching, watch the video, read the accompanying reading that goes along with each Brain Pop video. So that's another way they can do it, and they can definitely do that at home.
That's great. Thank you, Sarah.
Oh, you're welcome.
Additional questions or comments from the board? Sarah, quick question on, I know that you had said that Brain Pop was K-8. Are the rest of these K-12? I know that at least one of them was K-12 because they had elementary and high school.
Yes, only Brain Pop was the K-8. Everything else is all grades. And the reason Brain Pop's just geared towards younger grades, the video style that it's in. It's like a cartoon style with a robot that teaches them. And then it has a lot of other features that go along with it, but that's the style of Brain Pop.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I apologize. Sarah Jolly is our technology coordinator and digital coach.
I should have said that.
So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Then,
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate it.
Of
Then
course.
if there's nothing else, we'll go to 6.01, approval of the accounts payable. And we'll accept a motion because I think we only have one that may need to abstain.
I'll make a motion to approve the accounts payable.
Perfect. Okay, so that's the accounts payable, the first one?
Right.
Perfect.
The one called that.
All right, okay, thank you very much for the second. Discussion and or disclosures of record?
I'll disclose that I have a family member who works for Wells Rural Electric, but I will not be abstaining.
And I will disclose that I have a family member who works for Wells Rural Electric, but also will be abstaining from voting.
Terrific, thank you.
Matt,
Yes.
before you continue.
Okay.
It looks like we failed to remove Adrian's reimbursement for the accounts payable, so.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't see it.
She still needs to abstain from it.
Oh, is Jeff on?
Jeff is not on.
You have not, there's four of you still.
Yep, we'll still
Oh,
be
there
good.
are. Never mind. I wasn't counting you, Matt.
That's all right, you don't need to count me.
You mattered.
So, okay, go ahead.
I'll disclose that I work for Lone Wolf and then I have my replacement there, so I'll stay from voting.
Terrific, thank you. Any further discussion and or disclosures? Okay, then with the disclosure and abstention from trustee Stanfill, all in favor, please say aye.
I
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well, thank you. And again, the abstention from trustee Stanfill for the second item, the lone wolf item. Is there a motion?
I move to approve the Lone Wolf payment.
Second.
Perfect. Further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Chair votes aye as well. Motion passes. Thank you for that catch to our staff as well, so that we didn't have a potential issue. 7.01 is our final opportunity for input from the public. All right. Seeing none, then we will stand in adjournment, and our next meeting will be, the next regularly scheduled meeting will be the 21st of October, which is Tuesday, and that will be back at the Elko boardroom. Again, Ms. Manning John, thanks very much for your staff and students and the community and allowing us into the school and being able to meet up here. We appreciate, as always, that opportunity. Have a wonderful evening.